Bao Island Storyteller, Journey to the West. Hey kids, welcome to Bao Island. On Bao Island, every story has a taste. Today's taste is cool mountain air and fermented millet warmth. This episode, we're in Sandimen. Today's story, The Rooster and the Moon.
Welcome back to the Bao Island bus. We've left the Pingtung flatlands and driven up into the mountains, into Sandimen Township, the gateway to Rukai and Paiwan indigenous territory. The road has been getting narrower and the air cooler for the last hour.
Looking around, the change is incredible. Flat sugarcane fields 1 minute, then river gorges and forested mountains the next.
The Ailiao River runs through this area. The Rukai people have lived along it for thousands of years. Their territory includes some of Taiwan's most remote highland villages, where traditional stone slab architecture is still preserved.
We're stopping at the Shanchuan Glass Suspension Bridge. Shanchuan means mountain and river. The bridge spans the Ailiao River Gorge, a suspension bridge with a glass-bottomed walkway over the deepest section.
Nervously stepping onto the bridge, okay, I can see straight through the floor. The river is about 60 meters below, that pale green color from the mountain minerals. Everything is very far down and I am standing on glass.
The bridge railings have Paiwan glass bead patterns. Each bead design carries meaning in their culture. Some represent nobility, others love, others courage. Walking across the bridge is like walking through a corridor of blessings.
Reaching the other side, I did it. And look, further up the mountain, Wutai Township has those incredible stone slab houses the Rukai build without nails. Stone stacked for centuries.
No highway noise up here. Just birdsong and the river below.
This is the kind of place that makes you realize you've been living too loud.
There's something here, something you can only taste on Bao Island. The mountain air is so clean it sharpens every flavor, even the sweetness tastes more like itself.
Excited, what is it? Tell me.
Take a guess.
Mouth full, let me take a bite first.
Before we continue, Bao has been handed something by a local vendor near the bridge.
Holding a cup, millet wine. This is the traditional drink of the Paiwan and Rukai people. It's served at ceremonies, weddings, and to welcome honored guests.
What does it look like?
Examining it, the color is pale yellow, slightly cloudy. That's the natural look from fermentation. It smells sweet, like rice but deeper, with a gentle tang of fermentation. Not sharp at all. Drinking, it's warm going down. Sweet at the front, then a light sourness, then this soft warmth that spreads through your chest. It's not strong, but the aftertaste lingers.
Millet wine isn't just a drink in indigenous culture, it's part of ritual. Harvest festivals, coming-of-age ceremonies, and greeting visitors all involve sharing millet wine.
Drinking this means we've been welcomed. That's a beautiful feeling.
A drink that takes patience to make. The millet has to ferment for days or weeks. For a place that takes patience to appreciate.
Looking at the mountains, yeah. This whole place is about slowing down.
The sun came up over Wuji Kingdom. The king had been revived. He was alive, breathing, in his proper rooms, being looked after by his son. But he hadn't yet faced his court.
His ministers still don't know.
As far as the court knew, the king they'd served for 3 years was a demon. Now they would see the true king walk in.
That must have been so uncomfortable. Imagine being a minister who served a fake king for 3 years.
They didn't know. But the question still lingers, Shouldn't someone have noticed?
This is one of the things Journey to the West keeps asking. The demon was sophisticated enough to fool everyone. The ministers weren't foolish, they were deliberately deceived. But there's always a small voice asking, could we have done better?
What does the court do when the true king walks in?
They go completely still. Because for a moment there are two kings. Sun Wukong is standing to one side, still holding the rabbit demon in a grip of iron. And the true king walks through the throne room doors.
Two identical faces in one room.
The court looks from one to the other. And then the true king speaks, and something about his voice, something about the weight and texture of a person who has lived 3 years of death and came back, it's different. You can't fake what this king sounds like now.
Quietly, being dead changed him.
Everything he went through, the drowning, the years as a ghost, the helplessness of watching a demon rule in his name, all of it is in his voice. Sun Wukong walked forward, shoved the demon in front of the court, and said, in a tone that didn't invite argument, show them.
He forced the rabbit to reveal itself?
The demon resisted for one moment. Sun Wukong tightened his grip. And then, in front of the entire assembled court, every minister, every guard, the queen, the prince, the demon's shape collapsed, and the white jade rabbit stood there on the throne room floor, small and trembling under the weight of all those eyes.
Pause. What did the court do?
Nothing. For about 10 full seconds, nothing. Just the sound of breathing and the small, frightened movements of a very powerful rabbit that had been caught.
Laughing softly, that is the most understated response to the most absurd situation.
The queen stepped forward. She looked at the rabbit for a long time, this animal that had shared her bed, eaten at her table, ruled her kingdom for 3 years wearing her husband's face. And then she said, how did it know him so well?
That's the question.
That's the question none of the other characters ask. Only the queen. Sun Wukong, surprisingly, let the rabbit answer. He said, tell her.
Quietly, it watched him.
Because I wanted to know what it was like, the rabbit said. To be a king. To have a kingdom. To be on the earth instead of always in the sky grinding medicine in the cold.
Oh. The moon rabbit, it's lonely.
It lives in the moon palace, serving the moon goddess, grinding herbs under a mortar for eternity. Watching the world below. Watching people live, love, argue, eat, sleep. Unable to participate.
It wasn't just greedy. It was desperate to live.
Long pause. I still can't say what it did was okay. It drowned a man and took 3 years from a family.
No. It isn't okay. But the why makes it more than just a monster story.
It makes it a sad story.
While the court was silent, and Sun Wukong was momentarily thoughtful, the rabbit moved. One jump, straight up, through the throne room ceiling.
It escaped?
Straight through the ceiling and into the sky. Sun Wukong cursed and leaped after it.
But he's faster than a rabbit.
On the ground. In the sky, with the moon palace as its destination, the jade rabbit had a head start and knew exactly where it was going. Sun Wukong chased it up through the clouds, through the layer of sky where the celestial palaces float, and then the rabbit crossed the threshold of the moon palace gates and the gates closed.
It got home.
Sun Wukong stood outside the moon palace gates. He could break them down probably, but breaking into the moon goddess's private palace would be a serious offense. He'd already gotten into enough trouble with the celestial authorities.
So he's stuck.
He's stuck. He stood there for a moment. Then he knocked, formally.
Let's drive further up to Wutai Township and stop at the famous Shenshan aiyu jelly stall.
Walking, slightly breathless from altitude, the air is so clean up here. And the mountains fold behind each other, the far ones look almost blue.
Shenshan is a small Rukai village. The aiyu jelly stall here uses mountain spring water and wild fig seeds gathered from the forest. It's considered the finest aiyu in southern Taiwan.
Tasting, oh. The jelly just dissolves on my tongue, cool, clean, faintly floral. With fresh lemon and a little honey. It's like eating cold mountain air.
And nearby, the traditional Rukai stone slab houses are still standing, built without nails, stone layered on stone, able to last centuries. The architecture is a testament to patience and precision.
Noticing something, there's a hawk circling above the valley. Just hanging there. Not flapping its wings. Just riding the thermal.
Crested serpent eagles are common in these mountains.
Watching it, sometimes things make effort look effortless. That bird isn't working at all. It's just allowing the wind.
There's a philosophy in there.
Sun Wukong never just allows the wind. He fights everything.
Which is why he has so far to go.
Rest stop. Bao has been handed something wrapped in leaves.
Excitedly, qinafu. This is the traditional Rukai and Paiwan glutinous rice roll. It's wrapped in leaves from the false Aquilegia plant, a big, deep green leaf, tied with grass strips, and steamed for hours.
What does it smell like unwrapped?
Unwrapping, the leaf hits you first, green and slightly earthy. Then the warm smell of glutinous rice and pork underneath. Eating, the texture is dense and sticky, the rice has compressed into something almost cake-like. The pork inside is soft and savory. And the leaf flavor has soaked into the outer layer of the rice. Every bite is substantial, you can feel it settling into you.
Qinafu was mountain travel food, dense enough to last a full day of work or walking. The recipe has been passed down for generations.
Everything tastes more meaningful when it comes from somewhere specific. When you can see the mountain it came from.
The same story told without knowing where it comes from and told by someone who knows the land are two different things. Sun Wukong stood at the Moon Palace gates and knocked. A small window opened and a celestial attendant peered out. Sun Wukong explained, as politely as he was capable of being, "Your jade rabbit came down to earth, drowned a king, sat on his throne for 3 years. We caught it. It escaped here. I need it back."
What did the attendant do?
Went to get China.
Nervous, Sun Wukong is about to talk to the moon goddess.
Chang'e came to the gate. She is, by all accounts in the novel, very composed. Cool, elegant, not easily rattled. She looked at Sun Wukong for a moment and said, "I know why you're here."
She already knew?
"My rabbit has been unsettled for some time," she said. "I was aware. I should have acted sooner. I apologize for the kingdom's suffering." Very formal. Very dignified. Sun Wukong, slightly disarmed by someone not being difficult about this, said, "So, can I have it back?"
She can't let Sun Wukong drag her rabbit back to a human kingdom.
She said, "I'll deal with it myself." And she reached into the Moon Palace courtyard and picked up a rooster.
Pause, a rooster.
White, celestial, with golden tail feathers. A moon rooster. She carried it to the gate, nodded at Sun Wukong, and let the rooster crow. The rooster crowed once.
Waiting, and?
From deep inside the Moon Palace, a very muffled, very desperate thud. Then silence. Then the creak of a door.
The rooster's crow.
In Chinese tradition, the rooster's crow dispels night spirits, drives out creatures of the dark. The jade rabbit, a creature of the moon, of the night sky, heard the rooster and lost all its power. Completely deflated. Like a lantern with the candle blown out.
Sun Wukong didn't have to fight it at all.
Sometimes the right voice is more powerful than the strongest weapon.
Quietly, Chana knew that. She didn't send warriors. She sent the one thing that could reach the rabbit without violence.
The rabbit was taken back into the moon palace. Chang'e bowed slightly to Sun Wukong and said, "Please inform the king of Wuji Kingdom, his ordeal will become a legend." Stories that last are always the ones that cost something.
Slowly, she knew it would become a story.
Everything that endures has a price. The king's 3 years were the price of this story. Sun Wukong returned to Wuji Kingdom. The true king had been restored to his throne, surrounded by ministers who had served a demon for 3 years and had to decide how to live with that. The queen who had loved a face that wasn't her husband's. The prince who'd held a strange jade token in the middle of the night and trusted it.
They all have a complicated recovery ahead of them.
The king called Sun Wukong and Tang Monk to the throne room one last time. He said, "I want to prepare a great banquet. 3 days of celebration. Please stay."
Quietly, they never take anything.
The king looked at Tang Monk for a long time. Then he said, "I understand. Then take my gratitude, all of it, with nothing to hold it in, just the gratitude itself."
Very quietly, that exchange is perfect.
A gift of pure gratitude, and a monk who accepts only that.
Sitting on a stone by the river, I want to sit here for 1 more minute.
We have time.
Listening to the river below, this whole arc, the murdered king, the demon on the throne, the queen who knew something was wrong but couldn't say it, it's really about what happens when someone takes your place and nobody notices.
The hardest part isn't the demon being strong. It's the loneliness of being erased.
3 years at the bottom of a well. 3 years of watching your life continue without you.
And then someone finally listens.
Yeah. Sun Wukong listened. And then he acted. That's the whole story, listening first, then acting.
The Rukai and Paiwan people have a culture built on listening to the ancestors, to the land, to the river. That's how their stone houses have stood for centuries.
You listen to what the mountain tells you, then you build with it, not against it.
Gently, you're much wiser than 8.
I've been on this road trip for 39 episodes. Something had to sink in.
Last light. Time to head back to the trailhead.
Today we drove into Pingtung's mountain heartland, crossed the Shanchuan Glass Suspension Bridge 60 meters above the Ailiao River, tasted the finest aiyu jelly at Shenshan, and had millet wine in qinafu and Rukai and Paiwan territory. And we heard chapter 39, the true king returned to his throne, Sun Wukong forced the demon to reveal itself before the full court, and a celestial figure intervened to bring the ordeal to its end. The kingdom was reunited. Tang Monk and Sun Wukong walked away with nothing but gratitude.
The rooster was more powerful than Sun Wukong's staff.
The right thing, used in the right way, by the right person, at the right time.
What's next episode?
Next time we head south to the coast, to Muten Township and Shuhai, the last stretch of completely undeveloped shoreline in Taiwan. The Alangiai Ancient Trail. We'll eat chacheng mung bean soup and wild boar sausage on the trail. And the story, we meet Red Boy, the son of the Bull Demon King, who kidnaps Tang Monk and fights Sun Wukong with 3 samadhi fire. Fire that cannot be put out by water. Fire hotter than anything in heaven or earth. Sun Wukong gets burned and falls into the river.
Excited, red boy. Finally. He's in the story.
He's arrived.
See you next time.
Softly, sometimes the right voice is more powerful than the strongest weapon, you just have to know which one to send. On Bao Island, stories grow up with you.